All right. We're live. How y'all doing? What's up? Oh boy. Um I've been busy today. I have been super busy today. Earlier today, I did almost 3 hours of recording for the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Let's Play over on the gaming channel. Almost 3 hours. And then I did about an hour and a half of editing. I've got that recording about halfway edited, I would say. And so we're getting there. I'm going to work on it some more tomorrow, but that is in the process of getting made. And I should resume that. I should get another episode of that up by Christmas Eve. And the plan is to actually get the Let's Play finished by mid-January, late January, sometime in that time range. And then in February, we're going to move on to Rechain of Memories. So that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now on that, on the gaming side of things. Just want to give you guys a quick update on that. But we're not here to talk about gaming. No, of course. We are here to talk about this man you see on screen right here, that being James Gunn. And we're here to talk about his plan for the characters you see behind him, the DC universe, and what's the future for them on the big screen. So let's dive right into it, shall we? So, of course, James Gunn took over as basically the Kevin Feige of DC films, of the cinematic universe, replacing Snyder. Of course, James Gunn is also going to be working with Peter Safran, and they're going to be reporting to David Zasflav. Very important that they report to David Zasflav. And this week, of course, we got some mixed news. First of all, I was very happy to hear, as I've been saying for months now, that the DC cinematic universe is going to get rebooted. They're going to be starting over. They're going to be starting fresh, because when you look at it from a creative standpoint, if you're in James Gunn's position, why do you want to be saddled with Zack Snyder's failures? Why do you want to be saddled with a universe that has been such a mixed bag, has been so messy? Why would you want to be saddled with that? You wouldn't. So, of course, he's going to start over. Of course, he's going to begin anew, because he wants to tell his story. He wants to tell his universe, not try and pick up the pieces left by Zack Snyder and the previous regime over at Warner Brothers. So I think that's a smart move. I think that's the right way to go. That being said, we also got the announcement that, unfortunately, Henry Cavill will not be returning as Superman, which a lot of us are disappointed about, because a lot of us believe, and I still believe to this day, even now, that Henry Cavill was the right person for Superman. I think he was the right person for Superman. I think he was the right actor to play Superman. I mean, Henry Cavill's a good guy. I hate that Henry Cavill is getting screwed so much by the Hollywood machine. You know, he's out of The Witcher. Now he's out as Superman. Although I did hear some good news that apparently he is getting picked up for a Warhammer series. So good for him. Unfortunately, I also hear that Warhammer series is being produced by Amazon, which, you know, is kind of a red flag given what they did to the Ring of Powers, given how they've treated Lord of the Rings. We'll just have to wait and see. But some good news on that front, I will add, is that apparently they're just publishing the Warhammer series, and they're not actually, I said producing earlier, they're not actually producing it. They're just publishing the Warhammer series, and they're not going to be, they're not going to actually be involved in the development of it, apparently. So that's fantastic news. Hopefully they won't be able to screw it up like they did with the Rings of Power. If you're a Tolkien fan, that was just terrible. That was just awful. Okay. So, Cavill is out. It's unfortunate. It's sad. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I really didn't care for it. Um, I wish that he would have stayed. I wish they would have kept him on. I think you could have rebooted this universe, but I think you could have kept the actors. I think you could have kept Cavill on. Just start a new continuity, same actors. That's what I would have done. Um, Probably would have done it with Flashpoint, but James Gunn wants a completely new slate, a completely clean slate, new actors, new everything. Um, I understand the decision. I can respect the logic behind it. Um, so I wish him luck. I wish James Gunn luck. I hope that this new universe turns out to be great. I hope it turns out to be fantastic. Because at the end of the day, what I want is good stories. I want some good DC stories. I want these characters to be respected. And we're going to dive into James Gunn's plans for the DC films going forward. We're going to talk about what he's got in mind, what the reports are, what the rumors are that have been coming out this week, because he did present a plan to Zasflav this week. And so there's a lot of stuff coming out. Now, as far as when these plans are going to be made public, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. I think we're probably going to find out in January. If not January, I think we'll find out in the first quarter of the year, meaning January, February, or March. This is going to be the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers coming up. So it's going to be a big year. And they're going to want to announce these plans as soon as possible. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to talk about what's going on with the remaining Zack Snyder films, the remaining Snyderverse films that have yet to be released, what's going on with them, what's going on with other projects and other continuities like the Batman, like the Joker sequel, what's happening with that stuff. And then we're going to talk, again, some of the rumors going on with James Gunn's plans. And then we're going to end it off going over a list that I created of potential replacements for Henry Cavill, potential new actors that could play Superman. That's how we're going to end this off. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Let's go ahead and dive into our first topic of discussion tonight. And that is going to be Shazam 2, the Shazam sequel. What's going on with it? I believe this movie comes out in March. So there's really no way at this point to cancel the movie. It would probably cost more money to cancel it than it would to just go ahead and go through with it and put it out in theaters. So I think this one is going to come out. I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes to it. The original Shazam I thought was okay. There again, when it comes to the Snyderverse, most of the stuff is just okay at best. I think this was one of the better films, the original Shazam. And I'm looking forward to the sequel. Should be interesting. But that being said, it is in the Snyderverse. A lot of these films coming out, Shazam, Aquaman 2, The Flash, because they're all in a continuity that we know is dead, that we know is not going anywhere, I can't really say there's much of a point in seeing these movies other than purely entertainment. Because you don't need to keep up with them anymore because we know that this universe is not going anywhere. So I think this movie will be fine. I don't think they have time to make a lot of changes to it, but I think they're just going to kind of ride out the Snyderverse. Because this reboot is not going to be coming to the screens until probably 2025. We're probably not going to start seeing this new universe until 2025. So, might as well put these movies out and make some money off of them, whatever you can off of them, and be done with it. So Shazam 2, don't really think anything's going to change with that. But then we move on to The Flash, we move on to Aquaman, and this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. So obviously when it comes to The Flash, when it comes to particularly Ezra Miller's Flash, obviously we have the whole controversy surrounding Ezra Miller. The dude is a colossal piece of shit, obviously. He's done some really messed up stuff. And, I don't really care to see his movie. I don't really care to see anything involving Ezra Miller. I don't think he should be allowed to work in Hollywood again because the dude is a colossal piece of shit. He clearly has a lot of mental problems going on upstairs. And I mean, this dude shoved a pregnant lady. And once you do something like that, it's hard to come back from. And for me personally, it's impossible for you to come back from it. So I'm not really interested in Ezra Miller's career going forward. But it seems like his movie is still happening. And I think the reason that it's happening is because I think they're going to use Flash as a catalyst through Flashpoint to reboot everything. I think it's going to be what it should be is the ending of Snyder's universe in the beginning of this new universe. There is the whole situation with Aquaman 2. And what I think they ought to do at this point, if I was James Gunn, I would actually switch up the release dates here because the Flash comes out in the first half of the year, I believe. I think it's early summer, late spring. The Flash movie comes out, and then Aquaman 2 is set to come out, I think, next December. So what I would do is I would switch them up. I'd have Aquaman 2 coming out in the first half of this year, and then I'd have the Flash come out in December and end the Snyderverse there with Flashpoint. Bring in the cameos, kind of have a one big final goodbye to the characters since we know they're not continuing with the actors. Have it be the grand finale of the Snyderverse. That way, people that are fans of this universe, that are fans of this continuity, can actually look at this film and be like, okay, well, at least they gave us some kind of ending. We don't like that it ended this way, but at least we got something. At least we got some kind of closure. Give that to them at least, I would say, because there are some dedicated fans of the Snyderverse, and I know how much I hate investing into a story just for it to never have a conclusion, just for it to never have a solid ending. That is incredibly frustrating. So I would say switch up the release dates. I would say put out the Flash at the end of the year and make that Flashpoint event the culmination, the ending of the Snyderverse. And then we move on from there. We start looking forward to this new universe. Are they going to do that? Probably not, but that's probably what they should do. Anyways, I do think Flashpoint, regardless, is going to be the rebooting point of the Zack Snyder universe, ending that and starting this new universe. That's how they're going to do it on the big screen. Anyways, in lore. All right. So that brings us to the next topic. And this one I actually find to be quite interesting. And that is Blue Beetle. Let me look up real quick when Blue Beetle actually comes out. I want to say it's 2024, but I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure it's 2024. Let's see. No, it's actually 2023, but it's late 2023. Okay, so you know what I would do with that? Yeah, it's August 18th, 2023. That's the current release date. So you know what I would do with Blue Beetle? Since you're obviously not going forward with the Snyderverse, and since that is so far off, I would just discontinue what you're doing with Blue Beetle right now and save him for the new universe. Just don't bother with it. You can bring in the same if James Gunn wants to. Of course, all this is up to James Gunn's discretion. But if James Gunn wants to, I would say James Gunn ought to keep the actors. Again, if he wants to, he doesn't have to. But if he wants to, I would say keep the actors for the Blue Beetle film, rework the story, and then introduce Blue Beetle in phase 1 of your new universe. That's what I would do. From what I've heard, the plan for Blue Beetle, what they really want to do with Blue Beetle, is that they want to actually sort of make Blue Beetle into a Spider-Man-like character for the DC universe. So they want Blue Beetle to be their answer to Spider-Man. And I think that's actually a pretty good direction to go with the character. I think that's a smart direction to go with the character because he could easily be that Spider-Man type of character. And if that's what they're going for, I think that's incredibly smart. So what I would do is I would just can whatever plans you have for Blue Beetle at this point. Don't bother with the movie and rework the story, rework the character into your new universe. Because again, this is over a year and a half away from coming out. So I would definitely just I would rework it. I would rework it into the new universe. You can introduce, because Blue Beetle is again, he's not a well-known character amongst the general movie-going audience, but he's known. His name is known well enough. You know, people like recognize the name Blue Beetle, and they know, oh, that's that DC hero, right? Yeah, people know the name. The name has some recognition, so I would say you could easily bring Blue Beetle into the new universe, into phase one, even. So I would rework Blue Beetle into the new universe. I just wouldn't bother with whatever plans you had for him in the Snyderverse. And please excuse my voice, guys. I've been dealing with the sore throat last couple of days, so excuse that. But yeah, I would rework Blue Beetle into the new universe. I wouldn't bother with whatever plans they had for bringing him into the Snyderverse at this point. Because again, you're ending the Snyderverse. There's no point. There's no point. So rework Blue Beetle. Because I want to see a Blue Beetle movie. I'm interested in a Blue Beetle movie. I like the Blue Beetle character. I like the lore surrounding that character. So I do want to see him on screen. But let's rework him into the new universe. That's what I would do. Okay. So then we get into stuff that's the Snyderverse. All right, that's the Snyderverse. So let's actually go over this again real quick before we move on to the other continuities. All right. So Shazam 2, nothing's going to change with that. I would flip the release dates of Aquaman and Flash 2, or just the Flash. Sorry, I would flip the release dates of Aquaman 2 and the Flash. I would have Aquaman come out during that first half of this year, and then I would have the Flash come out at the end of this year and be the finale of the Snyderverse, and have Flashpoint be the event that reboots everything. That's what I would do. Blue Beetle, can whatever plans you had for him in the Snyderverse, rework him into the new James Gunn universe. That's my thoughts on the Snyder stuff, and that's what I think they should do. All right. So then we move on to stuff that's not tied into the Snyderverse. Then we move on to stuff that is kind of in its own continuity, kind of doing its own thing. And regardless of whatever happens to the Snyderverse, really shouldn't affect any of this other stuff that's going on at DC. So, first of all, we have Joker 2. Joker 1, phenomenal hit, really good movie. I liked it. A lot of people did. Obviously, it's getting a sequel. This sequel is going to be a musical. It's going to be starring, Lady Gaga as the new Harley Quinn. The thing is about this continuity is it's not tied to the Snyderverse. It's not going to be tied to James Gunn's new universe. I just don't think they're going to do it because this is a more adult movie, and this new universe has to appeal to everybody. It has to be one of those situations where it appeals to both little kids, but it can also appeal to adults. It has to be able to appeal to everybody, like what the MCU does. Joker is not that type of franchise. It's not that type of series. And I mean, I've got two little nieces. I would not take them to see Joker, and I wouldn't take them to see Joker 2. Would I go see Joker? Yes, but I'm an adult. But Joker 2, I don't think it's going to be affected. I think it's going to go ahead. I think it's going to be fine because it's in its own continuity. Whatever happens in that continuity, it doesn't have any effect on James Gunn's larger plans. So that can go ahead safely without really interfering with anything. Do I think we're going to get Joker 3? I doubt it because I think one of the points that they really want to hit on when it comes to these films going forward is that I think they want to make these movies for less. I think they want to make these movies in a more reasonable budget. Because one of the problems that we're seeing here, we saw this with Black Adam. We're seeing this with a lot of different movies, a lot of different franchises. The budgets are just way too high. The budgets are way too high on these movies. And that's not even including the marketing budget. That's even more additional costs over the production budget. They need to find a way to make these movies for less. That doesn't mean that you cheap out, but that means that you're smart about what you spend. Again, it's not about spending more, it's about spending wisely. Put your money to good use. Um, don't bring in all these A-list actors that demand these huge salaries and stuff like no, just, try and make these films for less. And as we're going to talk about a little bit later on, I think they're going to be bringing in some lesser known actors, some under the radar actors to fill some of these roles. And I think that's probably a smart thing to do because you don't want to see the actor on screen. You want to see the character on screen. The best thing an actor can do is to convince you the actor is not there and you're actually seeing the character on screen. Um, so I don't think that they're going to go ahead with like a Joker 3 or anything. I think this is just going to be a duology because I don't think they want to spend the extra money on it. I think once this new universe gets started, I think once they start pumping out these new films for James Gunn's universe, I don't think they want to start throwing money to all these other projects. Now, once the new universe starts to make a profit, yeah, sure, you can put out more stuff like this. And I think, stuff like Joker and I think stuff like what we're about to talk here in a minute, the Batman, I think stuff like that is fine, um, existing in its own continuity, kind of an Elseworld type of thing. It doesn't have to exist in the same continuity as the main cinematic universe. I don't think it should. I think the main cinematic universe ought to be its own thing, and then every once in a while you do these passion projects, you do these Elseworld projects that are just kind of there. One of the things I think they really messed up on, they're apparently were working on a Batman Beyond movie. And what happened with the Batman Beyond movie? It was going to have Michael Keaton as old man Bruce Wayne. I think it was going to be Terry McGinnis that was going to be playing Batman Beyond. And see, like that didn't have to exist in the new universe. It could have been its own thing. You could have even had it in the Tim Burton continuity, for God's sake. It could have just been its own thing. Like you can do this stuff that's just in its own continuity, its own universe, just do something to differentiate it. Like, maybe put at the beginning of each film, like some kind of thing saying, oh, this is in the main universe or, oh, this isn't a part of the main universe. Like you can do these side projects. I don't think it's a big deal. Um, have them exist in their own continuity, but I don't think we're going to see those type of projects again for a while until probably at least after phase 1 of this new universe is complete because they really need to make sure that they hit it out of the ballpark with this. Especially because I'm assuming Superman's going to be the first film in this new universe. So they got to hit it out of the park with that first film. If James Gunn doesn't hit it out of the park with that first film, um, there's going to be there's going to be hell to pay. I mean, it's not going to be pretty. Like people are going to be pissed. People are already pissed about Cavill being kicked off. So if he doesn't get this right, people are going to be pissed. Um, but I think really what Joker 2 and what the Batman are going to be going forward, I think they're stopgaps. I think these are films that can come out. They're in their own continuity. They don't have anything to do with the Snyderverse. They don't have anything to do with the James Gunn universe. They can just be their own thing and you can just enjoy them in their own little box. And I think that's actually a very smart play. I think that's a very smart play. Because I don't have to think, okay, how does Joker connect to this? Like, is it part of the Snyderverse? Is it part of James Gunn's universe? No, I can just go see Joker and be like, no, this is just its own thing. And that's fine until we get to the new universe. I think that's fine. I think we're going to have a similar situation with the Batman too. Um, I don't think that this is going to connect it. In fact, I know it's not going to connect to James Gunn's universe because James Gunn has come out and said that there was rumors that Pattinson's Batman was going to be the Batman for his new universe. James Gunn has come out and said that's not going to be the case. And the thing is, Matt Reeves, who is the director of the Batman and is directing the Batman 2, has come out and said he doesn't want his Batman to be in James Gunn's new universe. He wants it to be its own thing. He wants it to be its own story. And I think that's fine. Not everything needs to be connected. Not everything needs to be tied together. If you want this particular Batman to be in its own continuity, in its own universe, that's fine. Tim Burton's Batman is in its own continuity. Christian Bale Batman, the Dark Knight Batman, is in its own continuity. we can just assume that the same is going to be true for Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson's Batman. It's in its own continuity. It doesn't have to tie into the new universe. It's not tied into the Snyderverse. Just let it be its own thing. The Batman 2 can be a stopgap until we get to the new universe. Do I think there's going to be a Batman 3? Well, obviously it depends on the sales. If it makes bank, they'll do a Batman 3. Um, but it'll be in its own universe, in its own continuity. It's not going to be connected to James Gunn's universe. You're not going to see Robert Pattinson's Batman teaming up with Superman. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll just be its own thing in its own universe. Now, if they ever start doing multiverse stuff, you could see some crossover there, but I don't think they're going to be in the same universe. I just don't see that happening. Um, no, I think it's going to be its own thing. And, I don't think a Batman 3 is guaranteed. Obviously, we are getting the Batman 2, and that's fine. The Batman 2 is probably going to come out before James Gunn launches his new universe, because that's probably going to be in 2025. So it can be a stopgap. And even if they don't do the Batman 3, they have enough time right now to, make the ending of the Batman 2 definitive. And you can have a pretty good duology on your hands here. Again, not everything needs to be a trilogy. You can have a duology. Um, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. So, the Batman 2 is going to come out. I don't think the Batman 3 is guaranteed. I really don't think it's going to happen, because once we hit this new James Gunn universe, they're going to want to focus on that iteration of Batman. But this will be a fun stopgap until we get to that point. And I look forward to seeing it. Plus, on top of that, you know, this particular iteration of Batman is very dark. It's more mature. It wouldn't fit in the type of universe that James Gunn is wanting to build. This new universe has to appeal to everybody. This new universe has to, it has to be something that people of all ages can get into, that kids can enjoy, that adults can enjoy. Um, it can't necessarily be something that's just, mature and dark and gritty and blah, 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 blah. I would not take my nieces to see the Batman. It's too much for them. And I probably wouldn't take them to see the Batman 2, assuming that it's going to be following a similar theme. So it's not the right type of story for a massive cinematic universe, but it's a good story on its own in and of itself. So, I think we're probably going to end up with a pretty good duology here. So now we get to the big news that came out, and that is James Gunn is writing a Superman movie, and some details have actually come out on this new movie. Some details about what is going to be happening here with James Gunn's new project. And I am assuming that the Superman movie is probably going to be the first movie in this new universe. And I'm going to get a sip of coffee real quick. Excuse me. All right. So I am assuming that Superman is going to be the first film in this new universe. Because James Gunn has said that Superman is a priority. So we do have some details about this. Obviously, Henry Cavill is not returning as Superman. This movie is going to be focused on a younger Superman. However, thank God, because this had me really concerned to begin with. I thought that when he said younger Superman, I was like, don't tell me this is just going to be Smallville, but on the big screen. Nothing against Smallville, but I've already seen Smallville. I don't need to see Smallville the movie. You know what I mean? But no, this is going to be a younger Superman, but it's going to be kind of like a year one Superman. Like, he's already at the Daily Planet. He's already made connections with characters like Lois, I'm assuming. He may even be doing some hero work at this point. So it's like Superman year one, essentially. That, I think, is a lot more intriguing. I imagine this film is going to actually be, ironically, very similar to Matt Reeves' The Batman, because The Batman it's not necessarily an origin story, but it is like Batman year one or Batman year two. It's like Batman's early career. And I'm assuming from the way that this is described, this new Superman movie is going to be something very similar, but for Superman. And I think that's pretty smart because, there's ways that you can do this and still have his origin in there, but not have it be necessarily an origin driven story. Not have it be like Superman Begins. You know what I mean? Um, he can be doing his hero work. He can, realize he has all these powers and stuff, but maybe he doesn't know about his past on Krypton. Like maybe he does come across something that his father left behind that explains to him about Krypton and stuff. And you can have some foreshadowing about maybe Zod or Brainiac in there, something like that. Without actually having Zod or Brainiac be the villains. Because I don't think Zod or Brainiac need to be the villains if you're going to do a younger Superman. Probably need to just make it Lex Luthor, and have Lex Luthor be the main villain. That seems like the right type of villain for this type of story. But you can have foreshadowing there that, it's like, oh, look, there's some Kryptonian stuff here. This is hinting at maybe Superman 2, Zod, Superman 3, Brainiac. We'll see. You can have some foreshadowing stuff there. Maybe we get to see the beginnings of the solitude of the Fortress of Solitude. Like you can have stuff like that in there that delves into Superman's origin without the entire movie being an origin story. You get what I'm saying? Like flashbacks and stuff, things like that. He can already be a superhero, but maybe he hasn't discovered his Kryptonian origins and stuff. So there's ways that you can write this without it being a total origin story and just rehashing Man of Steel. So I think that this is actually a very smart move. I think this is a very cool idea, to be honest with you. Let's see. He is at this point. James Gunn is merely writing the script for this movie. There is no word yet on if he is going to direct the movie. We haven't got confirmation of that yet, but right now he is just writing the script for it. But I do think that, I think James Gunn does have a solid plan in mind. And I think we're going to find out what this plan is sooner rather than later. It says here in the article, the Superman will be on the younger side, but he won't be living in Smallville, but will rather will be Daily Planet reporter Clark Kent, according to Insider. So yeah, I expect he's already going to have a relationship with Lois. Maybe not a romantic relationship, but I think he's going to have a working relationship with Lois at this point. And I think it's going to be like Superman Year One. That's what I think it's going to be. And again, you can do a lot with that. You can have an origin story without really having an origin story. I think it's going to be very similar to the Batman in that sense. And I think that's a good way to start it off. I do think there's potential here. And yeah, I just, I don't know. I trust him. Maybe I'm going to find out later on that my trust has been misplaced, but I do trust him at this point. All right. So that being said, let me pull up this PowerPoint I have for you guys. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So I did do some research. And again, I haven't had a lot of time to research this, but I did do some research. And let me go ahead and full screen this actually. There we go. All right. So I did do some research about different actors who I think could actually play Superman. Again, this is supposed to be a younger Superman. This is supposed to be year one Superman. So I'm assuming we're talking about, early 20s here. So we don't necessarily need actors in their early 20s, but we need actors who look like they could be in their early 20s and who look like Superman. So I've got a list here of 7 actors who I think would be a good match to play Superman in this new universe. And You guys tell me what you think. What do you think in the comments down below? Do you agree with my choices here? Give me a list of actors you think could play Superman in this new James Gunn directed universe. So these are my ideas. I got 7 actors that I've picked out here. I tried to look for relative unknowns, but there are a couple of big names here that you guys will recognize as well. Some of these I think have a better chance than others. And also, I have a bonus pick at the very end of this list that I do want to show you guys as well. So, that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this. My first pick for a potential replacement, a potential actor to play a younger Superman, a year one Superman, is the actor Colin Ford, age 26. He has played in Supernatural, the TV series. He has played in Under the Dome, another TV series. I think it was a TV series, wasn't it? And he was also in the movie We Bought a Zoo. He is not a very well-known actor. He is, a relative under the radar actor. And I do think that we need to play. I do think they need to go for someone that's probably an unknown. Um, that way you don't really see the actor on screen, but you see the character instead. Because I think that is really the goal of acting. That's what a good actor or actress should strive for, is um, to make you forget that there's an actor on screen and make you believe that the character is actually there. But look at Colin Ford. I mean, look at the way his eyes are. I think if he got jacked, if he worked out a little bit, I think he could play a young Superman. He's definitely got the looks. Just imagine the suit on him. And I mean, just I picked out this picture too because it's kind of got that staring off into the distance, um, staring out at the horizon type of look that you see with Superman a lot. I saw that picture and I was like, you know what? He could play Superman. I think he does need to get jacked, though. He does need to get jacked. But I think Colin Ford could do it. So that's my first pick for who I think could play this new Superman. So let's move on to the next pick. And that is going to be Cody Christian, age 27, excuse me. Age 27, has played in All American, Pretty Little Liars, MTV's Teen Wolf, and also for my subscribers from the video game channel, you guys will know that he is also the voice of Cloud Strife in the Final Fantasy VII remake. And again, I think he has the look. I think he has the look for Superman. He's got the face for it. He's doing that staring off into the distance thing again. I tried to look for pictures of actors that are doing that pose because that's such an iconic Superman pose. Just staring off into the distance, staring off into the horizon. I think he's got the look. I think I think he could definitely play a young Superman. All right, so this next pick I think is a little more unlikely, but I saw this picture and I was like, "Oh man, see that looks like Superman." So here we have Brant. I think it's Daugherty, I believe. Daugherty. I'm going to say Daugherty. Brant Daugherty played in 50 Shades Freed, Pretty Little Liars, and apparently a shit ton of Hallmark movies. Age 37. What I think holds him back the most is the age. Again, they're wanting to go for a younger Superman. The age might be a problem, but when you look at him, you get him a little bit clean shaven and stuff. He could do it. I would believe that he's like a mid-20s Clark Kent. I could buy that. The age, I think, is what's going against him the most, but he does have the look for Superman. I don't think you can deny that. So this is probably the biggest named actor that I've got on my list, and that is Zac Efron. Of course, he was in High School Musical, Extremely Wicked, The Greatest Showman, age 35, a little bit younger than Brant Daugherty, but he's still kind of in that upper age range there. It's still kind of a stretch. But Zac Efron, I think if you told me, okay, he's playing a middle 20s Clark Kent, I could buy it. I could believe it. And what I think Zac Efron has going for him here is actually, apparently, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but the rumor was that he was actually in talk to play Superman in Man of Steel. So there was talk of him actually playing Superman before. Obviously, we know Henry Cavill got the job, but Zac Efron was in talks to play Superman at one point. So could they go back to Zac Efron and offer him the chance to play Super? Oh, whoa! Could they offer him the chance to play Superman again? Potentially, I could see it. I think what really hurts him is being a little bit on the older side, but I could see it. I could still see it. All right, so then we get to Jacob Elordi, and he is age 25. He has starred in The Kissing Booth, Euphoria, which is a god awful show, and apparently he had a role in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. I'm not sure what role he actually played in that movie, but I did see on his credits that he did apparently have a role in that movie somewhere. But yeah, so he is definitely a younger actor. He's got the look though. Look at him. He could definitely play a younger Superman. Um age 25, I think that's the right age range for what they're going for here. Year 1 Superman. Um he's definitely one of my top picks. He's one of my top picks for sure. I think he's definitely got the look for it, but he's definitely one of my top picks for sure. You could easily see him playing Clark Kent. You could easily, I mean, even like the nerdy Clark Kent, with the glasses and everything, I could see him doing that pretty well. And then transitioning into, Superman. All right, so then we have another actor. This is Wolfgang, and I'm probably going to butcher this. Novogratz, age 25 again. Was in Feel the Beat, the half of it, the last summer. I have not seen any of those movies, and that's probably a good thing because I think they ought to get a relative unknown actor to play Superman. But look at him, man. You put the suit on, he's got the face. He probably needs to jack up a little bit, bulk up a little bit, but he could play Superman. He could play a young Superman. He's definitely got the look for it. I mean, look at the hair, like the waves and the hair and everything. You dye that black, solid black a little bit, you got yourself Superman right there. But I think he could definitely play Superman. And this is another one of my top choices. Him, Jacob Elordi, Wolfgang Novogratz, are definitely my top 3, but my number 1 choice is coming up right now. That is David Corenswet. And I hope I'm not butchering that name. This is my number 1 pick to play Superman at this point. Age 29, starred in Hollywood, in Pearl, in Affairs of State. I may have been Affairs of the State. I forget. I may have had a typo there. Whatever. Anyways, he's my number 1 pick right now. Dude, guys, look at the dude. Seriously. Does he not look like a slightly younger Henry Cavill? He looks like a slightly younger Henry Cavill. And I think Henry Cavill had the perfect look for Superman. David Corenswet could do it. This is probably my number 1 pick. At this point, this is my number 1 pick to be the new Superman, is David Corenswet. So before we get to my bonus pick, let's go over these again. Colin Ford, Cody Christian, Brent Daugherty, Zac Efron, and then we get to my top 3 picks, which are going to be Jacob Elordi, Wolfgang Novogratz, and David Corenswet. David Corenswet being my number 1 pick. These are the 7 that I think could potentially be great actors to play Superman. This is my list with the research that I've been able to do the last couple of days. And then my bonus pick, Henry Cavill, just because we're all still in mourning. Okay. Oh, we're going to miss you, Henry. We're going to miss you. It's a sad day, folks. It's a really sad day. But David Corenswet, in all seriousness, he's probably my number 1 pick. Just look at the guy. He's my number 1 pick. He could easily do it. He could easily play Superman. I've also heard, interestingly enough, some people have suggested Zac Efron could be Bruce Wayne. Maybe he could be Batman. Maybe. I could kind of see it. I can kind of see it, but and I may actually do a future video or a future stream talking about picks for actors for all the Justice League members. But for now, we're just doing Superman. And again, these are my top 3. Jacob Elordi, Wolfgang Novogratz, and my number one, David Cornsweet. So those are my 7 picks to play Superman, to play the new Superman in James Gunn's universe. Colin Ford, Cody Christian, Brent Daugherty, Zac Efron, Jacob Elordi, Wolfgang Novogratz, and David Cornsweet, number 1. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your top picks? All right, you can do a top 10, you can do a top 7 like I did. You can do a top 5, whatever you want to do. I'd like to hear what your picks are for actors who could play Superman in the new James Gunn universe. This is just what I've got. This is just what I've been able to come up with over the last couple of days doing some research. And these are my 7 picks, with David Cornsweet being my number 1. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think that's actually going to wrap this stream up. There's really nothing else that I can think of to talk about. So let's actually get back to our original picture to set the mood here. All right. So, Derpy 501st just got here. Hey, Derpy, how you doing? I do apologize. The stream's just about over, but of course you can go back and rewatch it. I did give my top 7 picks for new actors who I think could play Superman. And I'll tell you, number one is number one was, excuse me, hold on, let me pull it up again real quick. On my end, it was David Cornsweet. If you guys want to go look him up, that was my number 1 pick for new actor for Superman. But yeah, I think that regardless of Henry Cavill not being Superman going forward, I think regardless of how much that news sucks, I think overall what James Gunn is building, I think it sounds good. Whether it's going to be good or not, I don't know. It could be a disaster, but at this point, what he's doing sounds good. I like his idea for basically what amounts to a Superman year 1 movie. I do like it. I do like what I'm hearing from James Gunn. I think he could actually do some real good with this. I'm willing to give him a chance. We're not going to know for sure until we see a trailer. We're not going to know for sure until we actually see something of this new universe. But just from the way he talks about it, from the way he describes it, from the rumors that have been coming out, I like it. I think it's a solid plan, and all we can do is hope and pray that it's going to be good. Again, I wish Cavill was coming back. I love Cavill. He's one of my favorite actors of the modern day. I think he's great. But we do have to look forward. We do have to think about yeah, I agree, Derpy. I have more hope and optimism with James Gunn. Abso-freaking-lutely. I have more hope and optimism with James Gunn. And I talked about his plans for the Superman movie, with it being a year 1 Superman already working at the Daily Planet. I think that's going to be very similar to the Batman concept, because that was basically Batman year 1, more or less. I think we're going to get a similar Superman movie like that, obviously with a more hopeful tone to it. It's not going to be dark and gritty. But I like that idea for Superman. I think that's a great way to have an origin film without it really being an origin film. And I assume that Superman is what's going to be the film that starts off the new universe. That's going to be the first film. That would be my assumption. But he's got to hit it out of the park. He's got to hit it out of the park with this first film. If he doesn't, I said it before, there's going to be hell to pay. Like, people are going to go ballistic. He's got to hit it out of the park with the first film. He really does. Let's see. Decree Montgomery has to be someone. Let me look him up real quick. Give me 1 second. I will look him up. Montgomery. I don't think he could. I don't think that he could be. I don't think he could be Superman. Actually, let me switch this up real quick. Hold on 1 second. Actually, I can do it from here. Let me do this. So I don't think he could be Superman necessarily. He could maybe be Joker though. Like you put some makeup on him and stuff. Is there any images of him smiling? Yeah, he could do Joker. Potentially. I have some ideas for Joker too. I'll probably actually do a video or a stream at some point in the future. Um maybe we're like right before the new year or something where we actually talk about casting picks for um like a bunch of different characters from DC going forward. I'd like to kind of do one for all the members of the Justice League, but my number one pick when it comes to Superman, I don't know if you saw it earlier, is let's see if I can pull him up real quick. Hold on 1 second. There we go. David Cornsweet. I think he could be our new Superman. That's my number one pick for Superman right now. Um, yeah, he's got the look. I mean, he looks like a younger Henry Cavill. Oh hell, look at this. Someone's already got a picture. Look at this. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at this. Look at you telling me he couldn't be Superman. You telling me he couldn't be a younger Superman. Look at this. Yeah, that's my number one pick right there for Superman. That's oh my god. Is how many people actually have this idea now? Because I'm looking Jesus Christ. Yeah, like I'm not the see, great minds think alike. I'm not the only one thinking this. He's got look at that face. He looks like a younger Henry Cavill. So if you want young Superman, bring him in to be Superman. Yeah, that's my number one pick right there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he looks the part. I had some other picks earlier. You can check them out when the stream is done. I had like 7 different picks for Superman, and he was my number one. He was my number one, but I do have some other picks. I can go ahead and pull up that uh, PowerPoint again real quick if you want me to. Give me 1 sec. Do that, and do. Oh shoot! I closed it. Crap. There we go. Okay. And share. So these were my picks. Colin Ford, age 26. There's some movies he's been in, Supernatural, or movies and TV series. Supernatural, We Bought a Zoo, Under the Dome. Again, I think they ought to get a relative unknown to play Superman because you want to see the character, not the actor. Cody Christian, All-American, age 27, All-American, Pretty Little Liars, Teen Wolf, and the voice of Cloud Strife in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Brent Daugherty, this is a stretch because of his age, but he kind of looks like Superman. 50 Shades Freed, Pretty Little Liars, and a shit ton of Hallmark films. Zac Efron, this is probably the biggest name I've got on the list. I've also heard some people say Zac Efron could potentially play Bruce Wayne, which would be kind of interesting. Obviously, High School Musical, Extremely Wicked, Greatest Showman. Kind of a stretch, though, because of his age. And now we get into like my top 3 picks. Jacob Elordi, age 25, Kissing Booth, Euphoria, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Wolfgang Novogratz, age 25, Feel the Beat, The Half of It, The Last Summer. He's in my top 3 as well. And then, of course, David Cornsweet. Looks like a freaking younger Henry Cavill. Age 29, was in Hollywood, Pearl, and Affairs Estate. So that is my picks for Superman. And then Henry Cavill, we're still in mourning. So yeah, let's see. That's good. He does look the part. Save that image, tweet about it. For Batman. Yeah, I've heard some people say that Zach Efron could actually be Batman. I've heard some people say that. Um, I see that's honestly the thing. Like Zach Efron, I could see potentially being Superman, but because they're going for a younger Superman, I think it's a stretch. Apparently, though, they did ask Zach Efron to play Superman back when they were doing Man of Steel. He was one of the candidates to play Superman in Man of Steel. That's always been the rumor. But Zach Efron as Bruce Wayne, I could see that. And you could even do something where you have an older Bruce Wayne and a younger Superman. Again, not a huge age gap, but like 8 to 10 years or something, maybe. Have a little bit more seasoned Bruce Wayne. Um, Maybe bring in the Bat family at some point. Maybe this Bruce has a Robin because it's been so long since we've seen a Robin on screen. The question is for will he be himself in the movie or act like Bruce Wayne? See, that's the thing, and this is why I say they probably need to get relative unknowns, is because I don't want to see the actor on screen. I want to see the character. I want to see the actor become the character. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see um we'll use Zac Efron for example. I don't want to see Zac Efron on screen. I want to see Bruce Wayne on screen. I want to see Batman on screen. And that's what an actor should do. Um, could he do it? I mean, possibly. I mean, Zac Efron has um, some pretty good, acting moments in his career. The Greatest Showman, I thought he was pretty decent in that one. Um, he's one of those people I think has actually gotten better as an actor as time has gone on. So he could do it potentially. Yeah. Um, but anyways, that's kind of where we are at this point. So, uh, that's my picks for Superman, and that's my thoughts on the future of DC. I'll probably do another one of these streams talking about the future of DC. I'll probably do a stream just about casting picks going forward. Uh, probably probably before the new year, but after Christmas. Yeah. All right, so that's going to wrap this stream up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in. Tell me your thoughts on this. Give me your list for actors who could potentially play Superman. I've seen some really bad lists. John Campy had a very bad list. He actually surprisingly did have Zach Efron on that list, but other than that, I thought John Campy had a horrible list for potential Superman replacements. But give me Sadie Sink as Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, and David Mazouz as Dick Grayson Robin. Let me look those up real quick. Yeah, let me pull those up. Seriously, that is a fantastic picture. I wow. I mean, he really could do it. Um, so let's see. Who did you say you said? Sadie Sink as Barbara Gordon. Let me look her up. Oh yeah, she could. Yeah, she could be Barbara Gordon. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, she could definitely be Barbara Gordon. And then you said David Mazouz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right as Dick Grayson. Um, is this him? Uh, has he starred in something with Batman before? Was he Batman in Gotham? Oh, I guess he was. He was Bruce Wayne in Gotham. Um, yeah, but as Robin though, yeah, I could see it. You know what I would like to see though, honestly, and this is just okay. That is him. Um, this is just kind of my personal take on it. So when they came out in the Snyderverse and they said that uh, they were going to have like an older Bruce Wayne who was going to be more seasoned, he was going to be like he had been fighting crime for a few years at that point, probably like a decade plus at that point. I thought to myself, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then bring in the Bat family. So what I was thinking is, okay, so you have like this older Bruce Wayne, again, not like Batman Beyond old, but like a seasoned Bruce Wayne. All right, fair enough. So let's go ahead and have Nightwing in there. Let's have Barbara Gordon, Batgirl in there, and then let's bring in Tim Drake Robin, because that's a thing. Like we've seen Dick Grayson before, in the old '90s films. Not saying that was necessarily a good portrayal, but we've seen it. Let's try Tim Drake. I think that would be pretty good. Let's try Tim Drake. Could this guy play Tim Drake? I think he could. But yeah, like I then again, I have a bias because Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. So what I always had an idea for, surprisingly, an idea for a Batman film, and I've had this for years. I've had this for maybe like 7 or 8 years. And this would have been in the Snyderverse. So what it is, you start out with Man of Steel, and then you have a Batman film that takes place a little bit before Man of Steel. Like Superman is not a public figure yet, but you have a Batman movie taking place before Man of Steel. This is a Batman who has been fighting crime for a while, at least a decade plus. Okay. So he's kind of put up the cowl. He's not Batman anymore because of what happened to Jason Todd. And Jason Todd is dead in this universe. He hung up the cowl, but you have Dick Grayson as Nightwing. You have Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. And so Batman has stepped down. He stepped away from crime fighting. And basically, Nightwing and Batgirl are fighting crime in Gotham in his place. Essentially, they've taken up the mantle. They've taken up the cowl, and they've been doing it for a couple of years at this point. Well, because Batman's not around, and Barbara and Dick, they both agree that, they're not they're able to fight crime, but they're not Bruce. They're not Batman. And so crime has kind of slowly started to rise again. You have the Penguin, who has become like this major crime boss in town, but he's hard to get to. It's hard to find him. Dick can't get to him. Barbara can't get to him. They need a detective to find where he is, to get to him, to be able to arrest him. And then you have the Riddler shows up, and I know Penguin and the Riddler. This is basically the crime fighting duo not crime fighting duo, but the villainous duo that we got in the Batman. But I had this idea before the Batman. Okay. But you have the Riddler coming on scene, and he's doing a bunch of different evil shit, and he's leaving all these riddles and stuff. And Dick's trying to figure it out. Barbara's trying to figure it out. And then, they're like, hey, Bruce, you need to get back into the swing of things. You need to get back to being Batman. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it. I already lost Jason. I need to step back. And then you have Tim Drake comes into play in all this, and Tim Drake finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, because that's how he figured it out in the comics. He did find out that Bruce Wayne was Batman. And that's one of the reasons why Bruce made him the new Robin, is because of his detective skills. And this would be a very detective-focused movie. So Tim comes in, and Tim is trying to remind Bruce of what it means to be Batman. What that symbol means, and why the city needs him and stuff. And, you need to become Batman again. And Tim is the one that really does help to convince him to become Batman. And, we see Bruce like getting back into the swing of things. He's like becoming the detective again. He's figuring out all these clues from the Riddler. And he's becoming that detective again. So eventually he does put on the cowl, and, at first he doesn't want Tim to be the new Robin, because he's like, no, I don't want to lose another Robin. And then Tim eventually does become the new Robin anyways. So now you have Bruce, and you have Tim, and you have Nightwing, and you have Barbara, and it's really a Bat family movie, and they're going after the Riddler, and they're going after Penguin. And I think it would be so freaking cool. That was my idea for a Batman movie going way back. So I would really like to see in this new universe, I would really like to see the Bat family be a greater focus because, in the Dark Knight trilogy, we saw it focus mainly on Batman. Yeah, there was kind of a Robin tease at the end of the Dark Knight Rises, but it wasn't really Robin. Um, but we've had so much focus on Batman for so long. I think for this new universe to differentiate itself, let's bring in the Bat family. Let's have the family dynamic with Bruce as the head of it be the focus. So an older Batman and a younger Superman, it would be an interesting dynamic. But I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Um, let's see. No, he couldn't. Too old. Tim Drake would have to be a kid actor. How old is this guy? How old is he? Oh, 20. Oh, wow. Okay. He does not look it, though. I'm going to be honest with you. He doesn't look 21. He does not look 21. But he could play Nightwing. Yeah, he could play Nightwing. 21. That's, yeah. Because, Robin would have been Robin. Dick Grayson as Robin would have been that probably in his teenage years, you know, or preteen years, like 13, 14, something like that. So by this point at 21, he would probably be Nightwing. So yeah, he could do Nightwing, but dang, he does not look 21. I'll be honest with you. I thought he looked like maybe 16, 17, something like that. He does not look 21. That does not look like a 21-year-old. That looks like a 16, 17-year-old, but whatever. um yeah, I want them to build up to Nightwing. I want a real story. Yeah, and eventually I would like to see a Nightwing spinoff in the universe. Like if, eventually like he goes to Bloodhaven and we get that because he could do like a real gritty story because Bloodhaven is a fucked up place. Um, yeah, I want to see the Bat family. I want to see the Bat family because there's so much potential there. And if they do something where they have a universe where Jason Todd is dead, you could get a live action version of Under the Red Hood. It'd be good. But I think the Bat family needs more love on screen, on the big screen. We haven't really gotten it like I want to see it. But I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool to see more of the Bat family. Um, and eventually you could probably bring in Damian as well. Like eventually, I know that Dick Grayson is the Robin who leads the Teen Titans, but you can change it up for this universe. You could have Tim Drake eventually go on to establish the Teen Titans and then bring in Damian Wayne, like when we're 3 or 4 Batman movies into this universe, something like that. But um, I should probably actually do a video at some point talking about um, I should probably do a video at some point talking about like my ideas for a DC cinematic universe. I'd actually need to like plan that out though, to be honest with you. Who would play Tim Drake? Gosh, who would play Tim Drake? I don't really know. I'm not as familiar with like the younger actors, to be honest with you. Let me just type in Tim Drake live action, see what pops up. This is that's the one from Titans though. Like I'm not. That's not going to be. Now who's this? Asa Butterfield. Who is this? As Tim Drake Robin. Let me look him up. Let me look him up. See what he looks like today. Oh no. Too old. That wouldn't work. Let's see. Teen actors 2022. What do we got? What do we got? Hmm. I've heard of him. See, like I'm not familiar with a lot of these people. Uh, let's see. How old is he now? If he was a little older, he could potentially do Tim Drake. Hmm. That ain't a child. Wait a minute. Oh, hell. I can't stand her, man. See, once you go under a certain age range, I'm really not familiar with the actors and actresses, but I'd have to look it up. I'll probably do like a casting video at some point. Um, oh, that guy was from Ender's Game. I did not see it. Um, yeah, 15 to 16 because you got to be a kid. Yeah. The I always picture like Tim Drake being, in that 14 on average, being in that type of age range, 14, 15, something like that. And it's not like he has to be the most physically, built character either. Cuz Tim Drake he's known for being more of a detective. He's more of the detective Robin. Um like each Robin specializes in stuff. Like Jason Todd is the physically built Robin. Like he's the tank. Like he's the fighter. That's what Jason Todd is. Dick Grayson is kind of the all around Robin, to be honest. And Tim Drake is like the detective. I think even in the comics, Batman straight up said like Tim Drake has the potential to be a greater detective than himself. August Matoro or Jason Mabum. Let me look them up. Let's see. What was it now? August Matoro. How old is he? Born 2007. So that would make him, let's see, 13, 20, 22. That would make him 15. 15 years old. Uh, let's see. It's the hair is what's throwing me off. Um, he'd probably have to get a haircut. But in terms of the face, I could see it. I could see it. Um, let's see. And the other one you said was Jason Mabum. Oh, that's a Tim Drake look. Yeah, now that's a Tim Drake look right there. That could be Tim Drake. Look at how serious he is there. Look at that. Look at that expression, that scowl. Like I could see him being Tim. Oh, that's not I could see it. I could see that. Yeah. He's got the right hairstyle too. I mean, obviously you can change your hairstyle, but I'm just saying like this picture, yeah, I could see him in a Robin costume. I could see him in a Robin costume. That's not a bad. How old is he? 15 years old. Okay, that is actually a damn good age too to be Robin. To be Tim Drake. I like that pick. Okay, that's not bad at all. That's actually really really good. I like that pick. Yeah. Like I'm just picturing instead of this plaid, I'm just picturing a Robin costume. Him in a Robin costume, and I can see it. Put the mask on over the eyes. Yeah, I could see it. I like that. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Yeah, energetic as a kid while being edgy. I agree. Um, but yeah, that could easily be Tim Drake. That's a good look, dude. That's a good look for Tim Drake. That's a good pick. But yeah, I would love to see Tim Drake because that's the thing. Like I'm not sitting here and saying like the Robin we got back in the '90s was a good portrayal or anything. Obviously, those movies have major issues, but we have seen Dick Grayson Robin before. Um, I would just like to see the Bat family expand. I'd like to see Barbara Gordon. I'd like to see Dick Grayson as Nightwing. Let's see him as Nightwing, and I'd like to see Tim Drake as Robin. But again, I do have a bias there because Tim Drake has always been my favorite Robin. Um, Going back to when I first started to get into DC, back when I was a kid, Tim Drake was always my favorite Robin. And you let him play Robin for a little bit under Batman, and eventually he could lead the Teen Titans. You could do a Teen Titans spinoff in like Phase 3 or something. I just imagine how wild that would be, like the Justice League teaming up with the Teen Titans to fight Darkseid or something. Like, I mean, I'm getting excited. Like, there's so many possibilities here. Like, when you really get down to it, I think that, honest to God, DC could be bigger than Marvel. I mean, just putting it out there, and I've said this before, I'm a bigger DC fan than I am a Marvel fan. I like DC more than Marvel. Even as a kid, I always liked DC more than Marvel. Not to say that I don't like Marvel, but like if Marvel's an 8, DC's a 10. Like that's what I'm talking about. I've always liked DC more than Marvel, and I've always thought DC has more potential than Marvel when it comes to a universe because they've already done it. It was called the Bruce Timm animated universe. The blueprint is already there. The blueprint is already there. You just have to build it. And hopefully James Gunn's going to be the right person to do that. But I think DC has more potential than Marvel. And I just hope he can unleash that potential. Now, who would play Wonder Woman? That's a good question. Um I mean, if they're not bringing back Henry Cavill, then they're not bringing back anybody. I don't think they're bringing back any of the old actors to play their characters. Except apparently the rumor is Jason Momoa may come back to play Lobo, which honestly, he's got the look to play Lobo. Um, Wonder Woman, possible actresses. There we go. Uh, let's see. Oh, you know what? Let me check something here. I wonder. What do you think about Gina Carano playing Wonder Woman? I mean, Disney's already screwed the pooch with her. Disney burned that bridge. What do y'all think about her playing Wonder Woman, though? I mean, she could really give the middle finger. She could really give the middle finger to Disney. by coming back and playing Wonder Woman. What do y'all think about Gina Carano? You think she's too old? How old is Gina Carano? Let's see. 40. I mean, that's true, but the thing is about Wonder Woman is that she's ageless. I mean, what? I mean, she's not ageless. I'm sorry, no. She's just like really long lived. She's the daughter of Zeus, so she doesn't age like a regular human does. But I see they may actually go for making all like the entire Trinity might be the entire Trinity might be like younger. If they're going to go for a younger Superman, they might make Batman younger and maybe make Wonder Woman look younger. I think with Wonder Woman though, they have a little bit more wiggle room because she's not human. Um, she's an Amazon, so I think they have a little bit more wiggle room there. Let's see. Possible Wonder actresses. I'm gonna find a list. 10 actors who are considered to be Princess Diana. No. Angelina Jolie. That's too. I think that's too big of a name. Oh no, she's too skinny. No, not Megan Fox. What the fuck? No. There's Gina Carano. I still think she'd do a good job, but Megan Gill. Jessica Biel. Let's see. Let's see if we can find. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. I've got the wrong window pulled up on my end. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot I'm on Google. I'm used to using DuckDuckGo. Hold on. Let's do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. And do this. And now you guys can see what I was looking at. Okay. No. That's too big of a name. She's too skinny. Megan Fox, no. I still like Gina Carano. New. See, now, let me look up Jessica Biel. See. Jessica Biel. How old is Jessica Biel? See, she's 42. Or not 42, but I mean, she's also 40. No, I don't think so. No. No. Huh. Elodie, maybe. How old is she? She's 41. I swear to God. Well, I mean, obviously, this is Hollywood we're talking about. Some of these actresses do not look as old as they actually are, man. Jamie Alexander. She was Lady Sif. Oh, she could have done it. How old is Jamie Alexander? 38. I mean, if she could do Lady Sif, she could do Wonder Woman. Um, I think my dogs are snoring in the corner. Have to be 26 to 27. Well, you know what? Let's see here. Actresses under 30. Hmm. I don't know. Y'all want to get Daisy Ridley back? Little Miss, I'm Ray Skywalker. You all want to bring her back? Um, let's see. Genesis Rodriguez. She's kind of got the face for Wonder Woman. Huh. How old is she? She's 35. She don't look it though. That's oh my goodness. See, that's the thing. Some of these I wish I had the money that some of these actors and actresses do because they do not look their age, man. She's kind of got the Wonder Woman look. So this is kind of why I think they ought to go with an unknown though. Because I think for big roles like this of like well-known characters, I think it's just better to try and go for an unknown. Lauren Cohen. Didn't she play what's her name from The Walking Dead? Maggie? Yeah, I think she did, didn't she? She's 40? No way. Natalie Dyer. Let me look her. Actually, I think I saw her earlier today when I was looking up actors. Natalie Dyer. Let's see here. We got 27. Oh, she'd have to build herself up though for sure. She's kind of on the skinny side. Yeah, she's on the skinny side. Now she might be able to pull it off. Didn't hold up. Was she like the best friend in Hannah Montana? Um she might be able to pull see like this shot right here. Like that's kind of got the look of like her going like, Bruce, are you sure you want to do this? Or Clark, we need to think about this. Like a serious moment like that when they're like planning things out or something like that. That's kind of like the face that you would think Wonder Woman would have. Um, I could see it, but she definitely have to build herself up though because she's way too skinny. Um, that's the thing. Like Wonder Woman needs to be built, man. She's an Amazon. Look at her, man. Like, oh my goodness. DC animated universe is so good, bro. Um, no, though but yeah, she'd have to build herself up. Um, because she's way too skinny, though. But I trust James Gunn. I trust him to get the right people. Um, I mean, look, he got Chris Pratt for Star Lord, and that was really fantastic casting. All of the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy are wonderfully cast. So yeah, it's true, especially in Hollywood. I mean, they got all sorts of techniques and stuff to build yourself up. They got some of the best trainers in Hollywood. Um, but I trust him though. I trust him to get the right cast for this because I mean, look at how well cast Guardians of the Galaxy is. I mean, he did it right with this series. So he's already proven to make really good casting choices with a superhero uh franchise. And so the idea of him casting for the DC universe, I think should excite us because he's already proven he can do it. I think he's going to make the right choices, whatever we get. I really do. All right, folks. That being said, um, Natalie Sher as Hawk Dyer. Potentially. You know what? I wonder. You know what I just thought of? If they're gonna, I mean, obviously they're gonna do Justice League, but if they take a page from the animated series, I would love for them to do that version of the Justice League. Except add Aquaman in there because he wasn't part of the Justice League in the animated series. But add Aquaman in there anyways. But like Martian Manhunter, hey, you know what? Michael B. Jordan Green Lantern. I would love for the Green Lantern they go with to forget Hal Jordan, make it John Stewart. Michael B. Jordan as John Stewart Green Lantern would be fire casting. I mean, look at this. That's well, Idris Elba would too. Actually, now that I think about it, actually, oh wow, Idris Elba. Actually, oh, hold up. Now, I might change my. I was about to say Michael B. Jordan would be great as John Stewart, but Idris Elba as John Stewart. Hold up. Honestly, I kind of like that more. I kind of like that pick more. Yeah. Cause see, John Stewart's the Green Lantern I grew up with. I would love to see John Stewart. Oh, oh hell yeah. I wonder. See, that's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna bring back The Rock as Black Adam because that's tied into the Snyderverse. I don't know if they want to do that, but you know what? I wonder. This is just a random idea I just had. Rock Sinestro. Did The Rock do Sinestro? I mean, Sinestro's kind of on the skinny side, though. I mean, well, not skinny, but lean. Um, Actually, The Rock might be able to do John Stewart. Sorry about that. My dogs are moving around in the background. Um, I don't know why, but I just had an image in my head of The Rock as Sinestro. Am I going crazy? Dwayne Johnson Sinestro. Am I going crazy? Maybe I'm going crazy. I might be going crazy. Oh no, you give him some purple skin. He might. Okay, I might be pushing it too far. Might be pushing it too far now. Um, yeah, Idris Elba is 50, but like I don't think all the superheroes have to be young though. They may just be going for they could just be going for a young Superman, or they could be going for just the Trinity being young. But I don't think every superhero has to be young though. John Stewart could be kind of more of the dad of the group, to be honest with you. Um, and you got to remember too, like the real age of the actors is not what matters. It's just how they look. You just want them to look a certain age. Uh, Jordan as Martian Manhunter, yeah, I could see that. You know what I would love for them to do? The first Justice League movie. Don't even do Dark Side. Like you can obviously I think they are going to do Dark Side eventually, and you can have hints and clues about Dark Side, but don't do Dark Side, don't do Steppenwolf, don't do anything directly related to Dark Side. First Justice League film, have it be the Red Martians. Like okay, before we go into Justice League, we have Green Lantern, right? And maybe you have John Stewart, Green Lantern. He runs into Martian Manhunter, and Martian Manhunter is like, oh, you're from Earth. Like, I need to tell you about an invasion coming to your planet. And that sets up the first Justice League movie where you have the Red Martians coming to invade Earth. And then you have like John Stewart, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. They show up and they show up on Earth and they explain to everybody, like, hey, um, like, hey, the Martians are coming. Like there's an invasion, and like we need to fight these guys. And maybe like the Red Martians know about Darkseid, so maybe they kind of hint or they foreshadow about Darkseid coming eventually. Um, let's see. I want the Imperium. Uh, wasn't the wait a minute? Hold up. Wasn't the Imperium basically? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was in the animated universe. Wasn't the Imperium basically cuz I don't think the animated universe did the Red Martians. But wasn't the Imperium basically the wasn't that the animated universe's placeholder for the Martians, or not placeholder, substitute for the Red Martians? So it's basically, I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of in a similar vein, isn't it? But that could work too. I just don't want them to blow their load and do Darkseid right off the bat. Because Darkseid should be your Thanos. You shouldn't get to him until Justice League 3. Um, no, I just don't want them to blow their load. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the Imperium was like base. So I mean, it's a similar plot basically. Like I think you get what I'm saying here. Like make Martian Manhunter like the standout character of the first Justice League because Martian Manhunter does not get the amount of love that he deserves. And I think in New 52 he wasn't even part of the Justice League. It was Cyborg, which is weird to me because Cyborg is a Teen Titan. I don't associate um Cyborg with the Justice League. To me, Cyborg is always going to be a Teen Titan. He's always going to be a Teen Titan. I don't know why, but I can just kind of picture The Rock as Sinestro in a weird way. I don't know why I've got that image stuck in my head of The Rock as Sinestro. Whatever it is, it needs to be an alien invasion. I agree. And I think whether it's the Imperium, whether it's the Red Martians, um, I think that would be a good way to do it. And yeah, like have Martian again. If you do Green Lantern as the last movie before you do the first Justice League, and you have Green Lantern meet up, and I'm assuming it would be John Stewart Green Lantern, but have him meet up with Martian, like he's flying in space or something, and he like post credit scene, he's flying in space. He pauses. There's a figure standing in front of him. It's Martian Manhunter, and he's like, are you John Stewart of Earth or what sector is Earth in the Green Lantern Corps? I forgot. Earth Green Lantern Corps. Uh, sec- sector is it in? Is it Sector 2814? I think it is, isn't it? Okay. So, like have Martian Manhunter be like, "Are you John Stewart of Sector 2814?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And he's like, "Then I must warn you. Your planet is in danger of invasion." And end it right there. And then it's like, "Oh, snap." The people that have read the comics are going to be like, "Is it the Red Martians or could it be the Imperium?" That's how you set it up. It's a really easy setup. And so then uh Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, they go back to Earth and they're there and they are like informing the other heroes, like they're informing Wonder Woman, they're informing Batman and Superman and Aquaman, and like they have to get the help of Atlantis and everything because Earth is being invaded. And it's like, listen, we need to team up so that we can stop this invasion. Like they have an army. If we don't team up, we don't have a chance. And right there's your freaking Justice League movie. It's so simple. Um, a villain that can be killed or put to justice. Yeah. Um, but I think that's what they ought to go with. I think that would be so good. I think that would be so good. All right, so it is 11:45. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Um, it's getting near midnight. I need to take this video and re-upload it, or this live stream, and then re-upload it onto Rumble. So I think we're going to wrap it up here, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I will be doing another video like this or another stream like this very, very soon where I'm going to actually talk more about the potential casting picks for future DC characters in the new universe. That should be fun. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here, folks. Thanks for tuning. Who would be Batman? Let's see. Who would be Batman? Well, the rumor is right now that Ben Affleck, obviously he's not going to be playing Batman, but he may actually direct a Batman movie. I'm trying to think who would work well with Ben Affleck in that scenario. Let's see what you know. What? Let me get some ideas here because honestly, I haven't really thought about Batman's actor. I've been so focused on Superman the last couple of days. But well, like Zac Efron, I do think that's one possibility. He could play Bruce Wayne. Oh my god, you know what I just realized? Dude, that didn't even occur to me. Oscar Isaac. Yo, Oscar Isaac. Oh, but see, wait a minute. But if they're going for younger actors, though, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. See, that's what. See, that's what gets me. Like when you say younger actors, that kind of narrows it down a little bit. That kind of makes it a little bit. It gives you less wiggle room when it comes to speculation. Um, how old is Oscar Isaac? Oscar Isaac. 43. But see, they could do an older Bruce Wayne and a younger Superman. Like he doesn't necessarily have to be young, unless they just want the Trinity to be young. Um, hey, there we go. Let's bring back George Clooney. Let's let George Clooney be Batman again. Screw it. You know what? To be honest with you, when it comes to that film, George Clooney was not the worst part of that film. I don't think George Clooney was necessarily a bad Bruce Wayne or a bad Batman. He was not the worst part of that film, if I'm being honest. Um, yeah, Oscar Isaac may be a little bit too old. But see, I kind of think that Batman needs to be played by someone that's slightly older than let's say like 35 max. Um, 'Cause I don't know, because I just like a real young Batman's just kind of hard for me to picture. I mean, Robert Pattinson I think did a pretty good job, but like I just always picture Batman being a little bit more older, a little bit more mature, and that's really because of his personality more than anything, to be honest with you. Um, I don't know. Let's check out some lists, see what they say. Um, Army Hammer, no. See, like right there's David. I'm assuming his name is David Mazouz. Um, See, I kind of like the idea of him being Nightwing. See, that look is just more of a Nightwing look to me. Scott Eastwood. He gives off more of a who was it that played Batman in Batman Forever? The name escapes me. Crap. He gives off that kind of Bruce Wayne type of vibe. Aaron Taylor. No, I don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson. If they were doing an older Bruce Wayne, I could see Oscar Isaac. Richard Madden. No. Fuck it, dude. Clint Eastwood. Let's get it. Fuck it. Uh oh, let's see. Oh, no, this looks like an interesting. Jake, how old is Jake Gyllenhaal? He's 41. So that probably wouldn't work. Um Michael, oh no, not Michael. No, that wouldn't work. Adam Driver? What the hell? Oh, don't want. I'm just trying to picture that in my head. No, I can't imagine Adam Driver as Bruce Wayne. No. No, I can't even picture that in my head. Let's make The Rock Batman. Just say to hell with it. How old is John Krasinski? 43. It's amazing what you can do with Hollywood money. In another lifetime, in another lifetime, Chris Pratt could have been Batman. I could easily see him being Bruce Wayne in another lifetime. Obviously, he's too well known as Star-Lord now, so that probably is not going to happen. But in another lifetime, I could easily imagine Chris Pratt as Bruce Wayne. John Cena. What? Army. I mean, maybe. How old is Army Hammer? $36. Maybe? George Clooney as Alfred. Yo, bro. That would be that. Well, it's like George Lucas says. It's like poetry. It rhymes. I would have loved to have seen Michael Keaton, or actually Michael Keaton or George Clooney as old man Bruce Wayne in a Batman Beyond movie. I just want a Batman Beyond movie so bad. Again, it can be a standalone. It doesn't have to be um it doesn't have to be tied into anything. Um Austin North, Austin North, Austin North, Austin North. Oh, he could do. Yeah. You know what? You know what? Yeah. How old is he? 20, 26. You know what? I, this is a full body pick. Let's see. Yeah, maybe buff him up just a little bit. He's not too skinny, but maybe buff him up just a little bit. And oh, oh, never mind. Okay, so that's him. Sure. Okay, fuck it. Okay, never mind. Um, yeah, I could see him as a young Bruce Wayne. I could see him as a young Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Um, who you choose as Superman again? Oh, that was hold on a second, I'll pull him back up. That was David Cornsweet. I have to look up his last name sometimes because that's not an easy name to remember. Um, David Cornsweet. Right here. So him as Superman, and then see, look at that. There's Henry Cavill, there's Cornsweet. For the love of God, look at the two. They look like they could be. They look like they could be related. Like, are you freaking kidding me? So David Cornsweet is Superman, and then Austin North as Bruce Wayne. You know what? You put him in a suit, I could see him as the young billionaire. I could see that shit. I could see that shit. Huh. Oh, there he is in a suit. Make it a black suit. Because Bruce wouldn't wear a suit like that. Make it a black suit. And I could see that. There he is in a black suit. Okay, so Austin North is Bruce. And then David Cornsweet as Clark. Dude looks like Superman. You know what I'm going to do after I'm done with this live stream? I'm going to post a poll on the community tab. Try and get some feedback on this. I'm going to put, I don't know how many options you can put on a poll. I'm going to put as many as I can though. See what people think. And then I might do a short too, because shorts get a lot more views. I don't know why, but they do. Austin North, Bruce Wayne. I do see how he could pull off the young billionaire look, though. Austin North, Bruce Wayne. David Cornsweet, Clark Kent. It could work. It could work. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is almost 12 midnight. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. This has been a good stream. I've had fun. I've enjoyed this. Derpy, thank you for popping in. This has been really, really fun. It's good to get a lot of feedback on this stuff. But yes. I think overall the future of DC looks bright. I was upset about the all right, I'm waiting, Derpy. I'm waiting. I'll just keep talking. You tell me when you're good to go. So I think the future of DC looks bright. Gordon. Commissioner Gordon? All right, tell me what you got. Tell me what you got. I'll check out Gordon. I'm still trying to figure out how anyone can imagine Adam Driver as Bruce Wayne. And I'm not saying Adam Driver is a bad actor or anything, but I don't. Like, is that a thing? Like, have people really been speculating Adam Driver? If it's young Batman, I want Gordon to be like from Arkham Origins. So like they weren't exactly, let's see, I'm trying to remember. They didn't exactly have the best relationship in Origins, did they? That was like before Batman and Gordon really became like, a team, like a duo. If I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played Origins. But I remember there being a lot of tension between Gordon and Bruce in that game. Or Gordon and Batman, I should say. Because he didn't know it was Bruce. Yeah, I just had like a really. What was there? Did they not have a tenuous relationship? I thought. Oh, no, no, no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wasn't it that the police were like suspicious of Batman, but Gordon wasn't? Like Gordon was defending Batman? Hold up a second. It's been a while since I played Origins. Like I have not played Arkham Origins probably since gosh. What is this? 2022? I've probably not played Origins for a good 5 years. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Origins. It's probably been 2 years since I've played Arkham Knight. But yeah, Derpy, who you got for Gordon? Did you have an actor for Gordon? You want me to look up real quick? Gordon would have to be in his early to mid 30s. Uh, not. I mean, would he be commissioner at this point? Let's see. He wasn't even in the Batman. He wasn't commissioner, was he? No, I don't. I don't think in the Batman he was commissioner. Was he commissioner in Origins? I forget. No, he wasn't. Okay. Let's see. John Krasinski or Andrew. Andrew Garfield. Wow. That. Okay, let's see here. John Krasinski as Commissioner Gordon. Oh, that's right. He was Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange and the multiverse of shit, wasn't he? And you know what? Didn't he just confirm recently that he's not going to be playing Mr. Fantastic in the MCU? Like it was just for that one movie, and he's not going to be doing it in the Fantastic Four movie. If that's the case, DC could pick him up for a role. I mean, Commissioner Gordon or not. Um, but as for Gordon, yeah, but it'd have to be like a young Gordon, like he. If you're gonna get him to play Gordon, I wouldn't make him the police commissioner. Um, I'd have him build up to that. But see, the thing is, if you're going to have Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, you kind of want an older Jim Gordon because that's his daughter. Yeah, I'm sorry about the dogs in the background. They're over there moving around their kennel. Now, Andrew Garfield as Gordon? Now, see, I can kind of see like that picture right there. That picture right there. That kind of could be a young Gordon. But if you're going to have Barbara as his daughter, I mean, let's just assume that we have Barbara Gordon, we have Dick Grayson, Nightwing. Like, she's probably going to be like 1920s, like, yeah, like 19 or 20 years old or something, bare minimum. So if you have like a young 30-year-old Commissioner Gordon, I mean, you're talking about like he was a teen daddy. So I don't know. Barbara was in Origins? Wow. I got to go back and replay Origins because I'm forgetting a lot of stuff from that game. Forgetting a lot of stuff from that game. Hold on a second. Arkham Origins, Barbara Gordon. Was she really? She was. Yeah, hold up a second. How old was Commissioner Gordon in Arkham Origins? How old was this dude? They don't have the ages listed. They do not have the ages listed. But anyways, that's wild though. So how young was Gordon when he had Barbara? Yeah, see, I definitely don't want Barbara to be Oracle. At least not until later on. I want time with her being Batgirl. And you know what? If we went with my idea of, like Batman stepping aside after the death of Jason Todd, and you have Dick and Barbara stepping in to fight crime in Gotham. Um, you could even do like a prequel movie to all that, like showing them doing something in Gotham. Um, and also at that point, you're probably shipping Dick and Barbara together. I would say, um, but I I definitely want her to be Batgirl. Now she can be like you can do the Killing Joke storyline in that universe later on if you want to. Um, you definitely could and make her Oracle later, but let's have her as Batgirl for a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up though. It's 12:10, and I've got a bunch of editing to do on the Kingdom Hearts Let's Play that's coming out on the gaming channel. That should start up again Christmas Eve. So yeah, I've got a bunch of editing I got to do tomorrow. I've got to get this stream re-uploaded onto Rumble. But this has been a good talk. Good chat. Derpy, thank you for dropping in. It's good to have someone to bounce ideas off of. Definitely appreciate it. But I think the future under Zasflav and Gunn and Saffron looks really, really bright. Wasn't a big fan of the, cutting Henry Cavill loose. Was not a big fan of that. But I understand the logic behind it. I understand wanting a completely new, clean slate. So, it is what it is. And at this point, we can only move forward. And I think overall, there's reason to hope at the very least. We can't say for sure until we start seeing footage, trailers, images, get more specific details. But what has come out so far sounds really good. And I'm looking forward to it. And I have way more hope for DC than I do Marvel right now, because what's going on at Marvel is absolute dog shit. DC looks like they're finally getting their act together. Anyways, folks, that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Click that like button. Click that bell for notifications, because we're going to be talking about more DC stuff in the future. Probably going to do another live stream about this before the New Year's. We may even get more information, more news before the New Year's. But I think we're going to find out more about Gunn's plans sooner rather than later. My gut instinct says maybe January. We're going to find out something more. But yeah, check out my other channels, my other social media, linked down in the description box below. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Jessica James with a Z, and I am signing out.